we head to dinner, Chip is going to give us a super fast hot skinny on.
Yes, super fast.
Woo!
Take my time.
Yeah.
Now, I was told by our meeting planner that we have a, yes please, one of our appetizers is going to go bad soon. So I will give you quick on how things are going. For me,
Which one is that?
I'm not a stand-up comic, but I really do appreciate a good joke, and I love to make people laugh. It's one of my favorite things in the world. I mean, on the speaking platform, giving opportunity, talking about something serious or going for the kill with the joke, I will always go for the joke, which sometimes is bad. But I will share this with you that for us, analyzing humor, E.B. White said that analyzing humor is like dissecting a frog. Few people are interested, and the frog dies. So the key is on that is, but for us as speakers, to sit back and kind of look at our stories. If we've got a point, how can we take it and punch it up here and there with something a little bit funny? A funny line here, a funny line there. Not to make the whole story funny, but just what can make it funnier. Now what I've given you are two different handouts. The first article is an article by David Grenier, who's a stand-up comic friend of mine, and he gives a really good structure for how to make up how to do a joke. And a joke, he basically says, has two parts to it. One is the setup, and the setup is a statement about what you're talking about with some kind of attitude. And then the payoff or the punchline is the unexpected twist. I mean, that is what makes people laugh. We're going down a certain path, and then we take a sharp left, and then they weren't expected, and that's what makes them laugh. Like I was saying yesterday, as far as us, what would make me laugh, I wrote these two jokes. If they're not really funny, please excuse me, but I thought they were laughing. But again, I spend a lot of time by myself in my apartment, so this I love being a small business owner. Great thing is I get to be my own boss. Bad thing is my boss is an ass. Okay, like I said, you gotta give me a little, all right, so, and then I was thinking about Noah and being in sales, and I was thinking, well, being on the road in sales is awesome. The open road, meeting interesting people, and, truck stop restrooms. Okay, I thought that was funnier than it really was. Anyway, the point is that with a joke, we take people down a certain path. And we could be telling the most serious story, but maybe people need that little respite from the heaviness of what we're talking about. So we can throw in, what would work in that? What path are we going down? How can we say something that's unexpected just to get, maybe lift their spirit a little bit? Now, people don't remember always what we say, but they always remember how we made them feel. And for me, if we can make them feel, for me, happy and well-adjusted, or at least happy, maybe not well-adjusted in case of Phil, but I do as much as I can. Another article I gave you here is the rule of three, and John Candy had this on his website. He says, you use it if you put this thing on the middle. Is that he said that humor or telling a joke is kind of like a train ride. We're going down a certain way, and then we take that left, and it's like a train wreck. And he said it gives the rule of three, and the threes are inherently funny. That we say one thing, we say another, and then on the third part, that's when we take the unexpected twist. Like I tell a story about my wife and I in the airport. I'm going through security, and I talk about her going a little bit slower because she doesn't travel all the time. She puts her bag up there, she puts her makeup up there, she puts her semi-automatic 9mm up there. So it's the unexpected, and it doesn't resonate with everybody, obviously. And that's the thing about humor, that humor is very, very subjective. Some things are funny to some people, but they aren't funny to other people. I gave a list on the last page here on things that I think Chip thinks are funny. One, I think real life is unintentionally funny. I think that a lot of things, regardless of what we're talking about, it will resonate with somebody in the crowd, and you'll get a laugh sometimes when you least expect it. Exaggeration is funny. Detail is funny. If you can use, I will use people in the audience, not make fun of them, but I will use them in my jokes. If I know somebody's name, I will pull them in, because then it personalizes it for the people in the audience. They can see that person in the joke. They get more of a visual. Loud noises, unexpected, facial expressions, being in the moment. Like I said, threes are funny. And the last thing on here, for me, I always ask myself, is it acceptable when I'm thinking about telling a joke? Does it help make my point in some way, shape, or form, or help the audience lift their spirit a little bit? And the last one on here, is it worth the risk? For me, like I said, I grew up with short, fat kids, spent a lot of time by myself when I was growing up, so I think a lot of things are funny that other people don't think are funny. So in my head, I will think, and I will work it out with a group of people. I'll be saying, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And I'll get told, oh, you're not going to want to do that. Sometimes I'll step out and do it myself anyhow, and I realize, they're right. Or sometimes I'm like, hey, that was worth the risk. But it's in that, is that a lot of times when you're working through a joke, the 5 P's of telling a joke are practice, 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 practice. That's it. Did I say too many practices? Maybe. But just practicing it until you get your delivery right, your timing exactly right, and you know, any questions, ask Roger. He is inherently one of the funniest men I've ever met right there. So thank you very much. I think we're good.
Excellent.